This is the Unit 6 seminar on analytical geometry. The formula that is extremely important for this unit is the one that I'm highlighting on the board right now. And this is called point slope formula. Point slope formula. And in order to use this formula, you need to know the slope of a line and two separate points on the line. Step 1, in order to find the right perpendicular bisector, and let me just draw a diagram of what that concept is. If I have a circle or a triangle, and I'm talking about chord AB that touch different endpoints on a circle, the right perpendicular bisector is a line that bisects that chord at its midpoint at a 90-degree angle. And that's why it's called the right bisector, the perpendicular bisector. Now, in order to find the equation of this line, the perpendicular bisector line, let's call that CD. Step 1, we would have to find the midpoint of AB, then the slope of AB. Step 3 would be to find the perpendicular slope of AB that we're going to talk about later on. And then substitute the slope that we found as well as the midpoint of AB into the equation point slope formula to generate an equation of the line. Okay, let's do an example of this concept. So consider trying to find the right bisector of my chord AB, where A is positive 3, 1, and B is 1, negative 3. And I need to find the equation of this right bisector or perpendicular bisector. Okay, let's take it step by step. So, step 1, I need to find the midpoint. Remember the midpoint formula, x1 plus x2 divided by 2. In this case, that would be 3 plus 1, my two x coordinates, added together, divided by 2, and then my y coordinates, added together and divided by 2. That is going to give me the point when x is equal to 2, y is equal to negative 1. Okay. The second step is to find the slope of the chord AB. And remember that our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. In this particular case, my slope is negative 3 minus 1 over positive 1 minus 3. This gives me negative 4, negative 2. This is 2 over 1. Now I'm expressing it as 2 over 1, even though it's a whole number. For my next step specifically, is a very important step. That is to find, this sign means the perpendicular slope of AB. I really want to highlight this. Perpendicular slope of AB. Now, in order to find the perpendicular slope, we are going to use the negative reciprocal of our answer from part 2. So, I know that my slope of AB is 2 over 1. So now the negative reciprocal of that would be, since we're going to flip the number, instead of 2 over 1, it becomes 1 over 2. And instead of being positive, it's now going to be negative 1/2. So my slope, my perpendicular slope, is negative 1/2. Now, in order to generate the equation of the line, I need two pieces of information. My negative reciprocal slope, which is that again, as well as my midpoint, the point 2, -1. Now, the x-coordinate of this midpoint is going to be my xp. The y-coordinate of this midpoint is going to be my yp. And I'm going to substitute it into the equation. X minus xp is equal to slope. Sorry, there's a little change to the equation. Y minus yp is going to be equal to my slope, x minus xp. Okay. So into this equation, in order to find the equation of a line, I'm going to substitute values for xp, yp, as well as my slope. So I know that my yp is -1, my xp is just 2, and my slope is -1/2. So that's the rest of the equation. Y minus is equal to x minus 2. Okay. Next step is to use the distributive property. So y minus -1 simplifies to y plus 1. And now we are going to distribute the -1/2 to the first term and the -1/2 to the second term. And that will give me -1/2 x plus 2/2. Now if I want this to be in y is equal to mx plus b form, I'm going to isolate my y and move everything else over to the other side. Y is equal to -1/2 x plus 2 divided by 2 just simplifies to 1. Then I have to bring this positive 1 over to the other side, and that becomes -1. These two parts cancel out. So y is equal to -1/2 x. Now this is suitable if I want the equation to be in y is equal to mx plus b form. However, in the textbook, you're often asked to convert to standard form. So in order to do that, everything has to be moved over to one side, and there cannot be any fractions. So I have to multiply everything by 2. Therefore, x plus 2y is equal to 0, and that's the standard form of the equation. That's how you find the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So just to review, x plus 2y is the equation of this particular chord, CD, the perpendicular bisector chord. Now there are other concepts that we're going to cover in this unit guide, specifically finding the equation of the median. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to copy this down, and I just want to explain using a diagram what the median is. So if I have a triangle A, B, and C, not necessarily a right angled triangle, my median is going to go through the midpoint. Let's call the midpoint D. The line is going, it doesn't have to be a 90-degree angle, it just has to go through the midpoint as well as my other vertex C. So these are the 2 points you're going to substitute into your point slope form of the equation. Has to be your vertex C as well as your slope of DC in order to get this equation. Very important. That is the median. Another important concept to copy down